Hi everyone, Salesforce Admin Training Day 4. Let's see what are we going to learn today. Today's agenda is we'll quickly go through the previous session and then we'll talk about the one of the requirement that we were discussing about the profile creation requirement, and then we'll talk about the create profile, and we'll talk about the edit profile, how to edit the profile and how to view the profile, and what is the differences between the user and a profile. Then we will see user profile licenses, and then we'll see about the permission set, how to create a permission set, what is a permission set, what are the properties of permission set, what is the properties of permission set. We will see these, and we'll have a today's quiz, homework, and interview questions. Now quickly, what did we learn yesterday?
How to create profile.
We have seen how to create a profile and the tab. Now, yesterday we started that, right?
Freeze the account also.
Freeze a user,
Freeze a user.
deactivate the user, different types.
Standard profile, custom profile. What about app exchange? What is app exchange? And about standard profile and a standard profile. The modules in standard profile, I think.
Right.
Custom profile also.
Right. So we have seen all of this. Now, yesterday at the last, we started implementing the requirement, creating a new profile, which is called as a Tata Sales Admin. And for this, we have created the profile where it has a sales lightning application, marketing lightning application. This is the requirement which we started yesterday, and we created the profile. Now, if I go to the profiles here, now in the profiles, yesterday we have created the starting with Tata Consulting, Tata Sales Admin. This is the profile which we have created yesterday, which is a copy of existing one with the license called Salesforce license. Click on edit. Now, once we create it, after creating it, we have to edit it. Whenever we edit, the first one which we are going to see is custom app setting. Custom app setting. Now here I have a custom app setting. In the custom app setting, I'm only interested about the marketing cloud and the sales lightning application. Now I have a marketing application here, so I'll keep it as a marketing application. Then sales application, sales lightning console. This is the sales lightning console. Now I'll remove this. Sales charter, what are the other things are there, we will remove it. Now I'll click on save. Now what I have done, I have just updated the custom app setting. Custom app setting. Now let's go to the user. Now I'll open up the user. Now here user is a messy user. Yesterday we have tried it. Right now this is profile. Right now system admin is the profile. Now when I log in as a messy, this is the messy one. So when I log down the messy, then I can see all the custom applications. Now I'll click on this app launcher, view all. Now I can see all the custom application, all the tabs are available, right? Now what I'll do is I'll go back to the my details. Now I have two screens which are open, Whatever the black above heading is called as it is logged in as a Lionel Messi. Wherever the white header is there, it is logged in as April batch. I have opened the two windows. One is as a Messi, I have logged in. Another window is as a system admin, I have logged in. Now I have two windows that are open. Now on the system admin window, what I'll do is I'll update the Messi's profile from the system admin to, I'll change it to Tata Sales Admin. Click on Save. Now it is updated, the profile is updated to Tata Sales. Now in the Tata Sales, we have a custom applications. We have a custom applications where they can view only Marketing Cloud and the visible, which is a default, which is a sales console. Sales console, standard sales lightning console. Now click on this. This is the Messi user. I'll refresh it. As soon as I refresh, what is happening? It is updated the profile. Now, if I click on a view all, how many applications they can see? Only 2 applications they can see. Only 2 applications they can see. They can see only 2 applications. Now, this is a sales console and the other one is marketing console. Other one is marketing console. Now, if I go to the profile and I'll edit again. I'll edit this. When I click on edit, it is right now it is saying this sales console. That means sales console is the one. But I need, let me change this to the sales. I'll make this as a sales and I'll remove it. Click on save. Right now I have updated the sales console to sales. I have updated sales console to sales. Now I'll click on here, refresh. What is happening? It is showing me the sales. Click view all. Right now, how many are there? Marketing, sales, both are there. Marketing, sales. So basically, visible is nothing but what are the application that I can see in the custom app setting. Visible is what are the applications? What are the application that I can see? Now here, default is nothing but whenever the user is logged in, which default application should I land on? Which default, if I refresh it, or if I come back to the, now if I come back to the, if I go to the setup, or if I log in, as soon as I log in, where do I want it to land on? Where do I want it to land on? So by default, it should go to the sales lightning application. Now, if you say that by default, it should go to the marketing application. By default, it should go to the marketing application. In that case, if you refresh here, now let me open this. Is updated the default. Default is marketing application. Setting advanced user details. Let me take a copy of the username. So this is the username. I'll log out. Now logging back. I'm logging as another user, not the sales admin team. I'm logging as another team. Now it is basically default is going to tell you that which application should it be landed. Which application should it be landed? Now previously I opened the sales, so that's the reason it is keep on opening on it. Sales. But for the first time, whenever the user is logged in, it will open up the marketing application default. But by default, what are the application that needs to be open? It will be decided here default. But if you have already logged in with that IP address, you have already logged in with that IP address, and if you are trying to log out and log in back, it will remember the previous wherever you are there. whichever the application you are there previously, it will remember and it will try to log in the same thing. So by default, it will go. Now let me try to open in another default. Now log in here. Login.salesforce.com. This is the user. Now here, click on a remind me later. By default, it is going to the marketing application because first time I'm logging into the different org. So it is basically, it will decide which application by default it should be redirected. Which application by default it should be where it should be landed. So by default, we said that it is should be marketing applications. Just a second. So a default is basically wherever the default should be landed. Whenever the user is logged in, where the application should be logged in. Visible is how can I see what are the application that I can see? What are the application that I can see? Now here you have a sales console sales. There is nothing much difference in between the sales console and sales. Now if you go to the sales, you can see all the tabs. You can see all the tabs here. When you go to the sales console, let me click on a view app launcher. I'll click on this sales console. When you click on a sales console, what are the things that you can see? Only the home page you can see. But you can open the lead, contact, account, opportunity, case, everything will be visible. But only thing is that sales console default, it will not show all the tabs here. When you click on this arrow mark, you will be able to see this. But in the sales, when you go to the sales lightning application, by default it is going to show you in the directly in the tabs. So that is only the difference, both are same. Now is custom app setting clear for everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now let's move on. The next one is tab setting. Tab setting. Now for the tab setting, right now we can see here Right now we can see here all the tabs are available. We can see all the tabs here. For example, let me go to the sales. Now here in the sales, we can see all the different tabs. Let's assume task. Task is also I can see. For example, I do not want to see the task in the navigation bar. I do not want to see the task in the navigation bar. But when I click on a app launcher, when I click on a view all, I wanted to see that particular task. I wanted to see here, but I do not want to see in the navigation bar. I do not want to see in the navigation bar. Now, how can we do that? Click on edit. Click on edit. When you click on edit, here you have a tab setting. In the tab setting, you have a 3 options: default on, default off, tab hidden. When you say default off, now here task is there. By default, it is a default on. Whenever you say default off, that means take out from the navigation. Default off is nothing but take out from the navigation bar. Now I'll select it here, default off. Click on a save. Click on save. Once I click on a save, now let me log in back as another user. This is the user. This is messy user. Now let's refresh. Whenever I refresh, it will take some time. Now this is the Tata one. And what did I update here? Task default off. Okay. Let me just click on edit. I'll say sales is the default and the task is default off. Okay, I'll click on save again. Let's refresh. Let me log out. Sometimes it takes a time. Okay, so I entered the username password. Click on login. Now here I cannot see the task. I cannot see the task. So default off is nothing but take out a specific tab from the navigation bar. Here I cannot see task. But when I go to the view all, here I can see the task. Here I can see the task. So that means default off is nothing but take out the tab from the navigation item, but available in the app launcher. Whenever we click on an app launcher, should be available. That is the default off. Default on is nothing but it should be available on the navigation bar as well as in the app launcher. Now that these are the different one. Now click on edit. Once you click on edit, we have one more option which is available is tab hidden. Tab hidden. Tab hidden is nothing but remove it from the navigation bar as well as remove it from the app launcher. Both the places, just remove it. So task, I have just updated the tab hidden. Now click on save. So when I click on save, it takes some time. So now we have a task is tab hidden. That means it will take out this task from the navigation bar as well as the app launcher. Remove from the tab hidden. But tab hidden is basically it will be removed from the app launcher as well as the navigation bar. Now the next one is, so these are the 3 options which are available in tab setting. The next one is administrative permissions. Administrative permissions. Now let me edit this. Now here we have a administrative permissions. Now what are these administrative permissions? All the admin tasks, all the admin tasks. For example, here we have a something called, let's see what we can test it here. So here you can see all of them like a letterhead, right? So you can see the view health check, right? View all data, view all profiles. So view all profiles, view all profiles, view all user. What is this? Whenever this checkbox is enabled, whenever this checkbox is enabled, right now the end user can see all the details. Let's go to the setup. Now here home, when they click on it, users, and when they click on users, they can see everybody's data. That means all the users list they can see. They can see all the users list. Similarly, when they open the profile, they can see all the profiles. They can see all the profiles here. The reason is in the admin part, in the administrative permissions, we have a option called view all profile, view all users. That means I'm saying that whoever is the user is having this profile, they should able to view the all the profiles, view all the users. But if you do not want to view all the profiles, view all the users, just uncheck that and click on it, save. Click on save. Now, once you click on a save, now let's go to the as a other user. Let's refresh this. It will take some time. Now I need to log out, log in back. Now click on a remind me later. Now here, first verification is, am I able to see the tasks? I'm not able to see the task. Right now, task is not available because I set it as a tab hidden. Tab hidden. Now the task is not available. Not even the app launcher, not even on the tab. Navigation bar, right? And the next one is we have made a changes to the administrative permissions. In the administrative permissions, click on a profile. Click on here. Now it takes some time to reflect it. It did not update. And similarly, click on a users. Now, for example, if I'm trying to modify anything related to this user, click on edit. Now I'll say here deactivated, click on OK, click on save. Now it takes some time. View all profile, view all users. Now let's show you the another one, which is called as the administrative. In the administrative, we have a something called where is the email? So we have a libraries, right? API related. These all are API related. Now create, customize the dashboards. And if you wanted to edit any HTML templates, this we will see later, HTML templates. and lightning experience user. If you uncheck, so lightning experience user, what will happen? Let's uncheck this. That's the one. And now this is the administrative. Here we have a, okay, there it is. Now view all data, use team serve, right? Use team reassignment wizard. So these all data will be there, dashboards, reports, if you want to see or not, right? Selected files from the Salesforce. These are the administrative work. These are the administrative work, like edit my report, edit reports if you want to edit the reports, dashboard, right? You wanted to manage anything, the licenses, like we have a something called a business holidays. What does that mean? If you search here, you have a one option called business holidays. Business hours. Now you have an option called business hours. That means by default org level, the business hours are available. That means whoever the users are working, by default, their working hours are this. By default, their working hours are this. Now, if I go back to the end user, let me search as a business hours for this user also. Now, this person is able to see the business hours. No list view available for the type search result. Now he cannot see that. Click on a setup, business hours. Click on open. Now here, click on this default. Now he can see the details here. What are the business hours are there? He can see that. Now let me switch to the classic. Click on setup, business hours. Now click on here, business hours. Just open this business hours. Now the person is able to see the business hours here. Now if I say here in the administrative profile, if I say that this person should not be viewing the business hours. Now that means if I uncheck, what will happen? View setup and configuration will be removed. Now these all are the administrative activities, which are related to the report, dashboards, right? And folders, the roles, role hierarchy. If they wanted to see the roles, role hierarchy, if I say that I don't want to see them, the roles and role hierarchy. Now I'll uncheck this. Let's save this. Now I have received role and roles as well as the lightning experience and then business hours. Now let me go back to the as an end user. Let's click here, refresh. Now what it says right now, business hours, it says that insufficient privileges because I removed it. I removed the sub everything. Now here lightning experience also I removed it. Lightning experience is also I removed it. Now the user will not go back to the lightning. User cannot go back to the lightning. If I refresh the one which are already in lightning, it says that you cannot access the lightning experience. You cannot access the lightning experience. What is the reason? I have made a changes related to the lightning experience in the administrative. Let's click on edit. Administrative settings. In the administrative settings, we have an option called lightning experience user. This I have deactivated. If I activate this, Now that means lightning experience user. The person will be getting the lightning experience. Let's click on a save. Now let me refresh this. Let me do this. This is the lightning. Now let me refresh this. Now it takes some time. Now it is working. Now it is working. If I go to the setup is not available because I have removed that. I have removed setup is, I have removed it. So like this, based on the client requirement, we will be updating whatever the client want. If client says that they did not want to see them, like I do not want to make them as a lightning, then remove that lightning. If client says that end user should have only classic view, then remove the lightning experience user, right? And if they says that we do not want to see them the view all profile, view all users, take out. If they say that we do not want to see them as a view restriction, everything. So this has to be taken out. So whatever the client says, based on that, we have to update the administrative settings. It's not our own. Developer cannot decide what should be visible, what should not be visible. This has to have a discussion with the client, then only you can able to update the administrative permissions, right? So we have a different things which are available here. Now that's the administrative permissions, and the next one is a general user. General user permission. General user permissions are nothing but convert lead or a emails, app exchange. Those are the one general. So let me edit this. Now in the profile, we have a option called general user permissions. In the general user permissions, for example, if you do not want to activate the contract, if you do not want to activate the orders, right? If you do not want to convert the lead, if you do not want to convert the lead, in those scenarios, you can take out this. So right now, as the end user, now this end user is, let's click on a lead. Now here, let's see all the open leads. Now let me open the lead. Now this person, when I click on here, I can see the convert button is available. The convert button is available. But if I say that take out the convert button, take out the convert button, that means I do not want to see the convert button. Now let's go ahead and click on a save. Now let's refresh, click on refresh this one. Now here you cannot see the convert button. Convert button you will not see, right? Because the option is removed from the profile. So profile is going to decide what user can do. What user can do. Now here general user, we have removed the convert lead. Similarly, if you have a mass email or a single email, right? Send email, mass email, these are the options are available. Where can I see that options? Now here, if you see, go to the lead, here you see the email option is available, right? Either you can send a single email or you can send a multiple emails. Like if you click on this, you can send a single email to the single user or a multiple user. But let's assume that at the profile level, I'll remove the send email. As soon as I remove the send email, mass email is also removed. Mass email also removed. So I'll click on a save. Now I'm removing the email option in the general settings. In the general setting, general user permission, I have removed the access. Now let's click on a refresh. Now the user will not see email option here. Now the user will not see email option. So general users are what are the options that generic options, basically generic options, what they can view or what should not be viewed, right? If they wanted, if they do not want to activate the contract, I should, like the client says that now my users should not activate the contract, or whoever is working on the orders, they should not have the access to activate the orders. then remove this access. And the manage leads, if they say that my internal team, one of the team should not have access to the managing the lead, take out the managing lead. Now, similarly, if you want to remove any other things like topics, email templates, lightning email templates, right? Now we have a transfer case, transfer lead. Now we do not want to transfer the lead. We do not want to transfer the case. Import a lead. So if my internal team is importing the leads through the local system to the Salesforce, then I do not want to import them. So these all available options are, these are options available in the general user settings. General user settings. Now you need to check this, which all options should be available, which all options should not be available. Everything you need to cross verify. Everything you need to cross verify. And the next one is standard object permission. This is basically at the object level. At the object level, we have a read, create, edit, delete. Read, create, edit, delete. These are the basic access. Then after that, we have a something called data administrative access, which are view all, modify all. View all, modify all. So basic access is whether my end user should need to have a access to the read, create, edit, delete or not. This is a basic access. View all, modify all is data administrative access. Now view all, modify all. View all, modify all. Now we have a different options in the object level. Read, create, edit, delete, and then view all. View all is the users can able to see all the records. The users will be able to see all the records created by all the other users in the organization. Only view, only you can view it. Modify all is the profile user can view and modify the records created by all other users. So this view all, modify all in detail we will discuss whenever we are discussing the OWD concept. OWD concept, that means org-wide setting, org-wide sharing rules. What are the OWD sharing settings are there? During that time we will see. Because view all, modify all. So basically OWD is a very basic level setting. OWD. So OWD is a very basic level settings. OWD is a basic level settings. That means org-wide settings, org-wide default settings. On top of it, we have a profile. On top of it, we have a profile. So profile, the view all, modify all is going to override the default settings. What are the default sharing settings are there? It will override by the profile. So this in detail, we will see in the, whenever we are talking about OWD. But just right now, understand that view all is the users can see all the records created by all the other users. Modify all is the profile user can view and modify the create records that are created by all the other users in the organization. That means you will be getting the view and edit. Now let me show you this. For example, I'll say here account. Now observe this, whenever I remove the modify all my edit options will go away. Like for example, if I say here, I wanted to remove the edit. Whenever I say I wanted to remove the edit, ultimately the modify all delete will be automatically removed. For delete also it will be removed. Whenever I uncheck the edit, all of this gets removed. Now if I uncheck the view all, that means I'm removing the read and create. I'm not adding the edit, delete, modify all. Now here, whenever I uncheck the edit, what is the purpose that delete also getting unchecked? Whenever I uncheck here, what is the purpose? It says that it should be needed. That means edit, delete are together. Edit, delete are together. The reason is whenever we delete, in every object, we have a field called is delete. We have a field called is delete. Now, whenever you delete a record at the back end, Salesforce side, Salesforce, what it does is it will update the record is delete equal to true. Before it was is delete equal to false. Before it was is delete equal to false. As soon as I click on a delete button on the record, what Salesforce does is Salesforce update the record is delete equal to true. So that's the reason edit and delete both are together. The permission of the edit and delete both should be together. If you remove the edit, then the delete should be available. If you are enable the delete, the edit should be enabled. If you remove the edit, delete should be removed. Now let's say that on account level, I say read and create. Read and create. Now click on a save. Click on save. As soon as I click on a save, now let's go to the account. Now let me refresh this. Now click on a all customers. Now the user is able to 21 records. User is able to view 21 records. The reason why they are able to view the 21 records. Now, how many records am I able to see? First of all, let's go to the all customers. I have a 21 items. Now I remove the profile, view all, modify all, everything I have removed it. But still I can see the end user is able to see the 21 items. What is the reason? Reason is OWD level, we have a sharing called public. OWD level sharing has a public. If it is a public, then that means if your profile is says account and contact, create and edit, whatever the option you have at the profile level, by default, user, end user or other users can see all other records because OWD is a public. So this concept we will discuss in detail whenever we have a OWD setup. OWD session, whenever we have it, we will discuss in detail. But right now, just remember is view all is just viewing the record, modify all is where you have to view and edit. Now here, if you OWD is a public, then you will see everything irrespective of the whatever the person is created, one user or a other users, all the records you will be able to see. And the next one is a session settings. Next one, session settings. Click on edit. Now session settings, which I have discussed yesterday. So basically how long that you wanted to keep the user. Like in case if the user is not available in front of the system. I'll say that maximum after 2 hours, let's say timeout. So that is the one. And the next one is a password policies. Password policies, which is the same as a org-wide password policies. Now the same options are available here. Now your profile password policies will be overriding the org-wide password policies because the user is having the specific one. Now, just do a homework. The homework is now let's say the homework. Now here homework is create a org-wide password policies. Org-wide password policies. Org-wide password policies. And in the org-wide, let's say that you have now. Let's say here minimum password length in the org-wide. Let's keep it as a 3. In org-wide, minimum password policies. Minimum password policy, minimum password length is 3. right? And then now here, let's say here, org wide. No. Password complexity requirement. Password complexity requirement should be must include numbers, and uppercase, lowercase letters, and uppercase, lowercase letter. Now, this is at the org wide. Now, profile wise. Let's assume that you also create a profile which is called as a Tata sales admin. Okay, create this profile. Tata sales admin. And you have created a user which is a Melissa Kohler. I guess you have guys already created it. Melissa colon should be associated with profile called Tata sales admin, right? And in the profile level, profile password policies, profile level password policies. In the profile level password policies, what you do is minimum password length is 8. Minimum password length is 8. And let's say here must include alpha and numeric characters. Alpha and numeric characters, or let's say that no restriction. Before what we did include a number, uppercase, lowercase. Now here include alpha numeric. Okay. Include, must include alpha and numeric. It doesn't say whether it is a capital or a small letter. So you just need to use the alpha and numeric. This is the setup. Okay, org-wide setup is this one for the password policies, and the profile level setup for the password policy is this. Now what you need to do is on the Melissa colon as a system admin, click on a reset password. Click on a reset password on Melissa colon user. On user called Melissa colon. That means what you need to do is once this is done, go to the users level, go to that particular user, Melissa colon. On this Melissa colon user, just click on a reset password. For example, I'm doing it on Messi. Now here I click on a reset password. When you click on a reset password, what is happening? Is it asking the profile level password length or is it asking the org wide length? Which one it is asking? Which one it is asking? Let's change this, must include this. Because here the length is a 3 characters. So you should have a include alphanumeric characters in the org level, and whereas password level, it should be include number and uppercase and lowercase, because here length is a 8. Give me your observation which password policies it is taking, whether it is taking the org-wide password policy or whether it is taking the profile level password policies. For that user, what are the profile is there? Is it taking the password level profile password policy, profile level password policy or a org-wide password policies? Fine. Any questions so far? No, this is I have already answered. And in the custom profile, is there any configuration setting provided by Salesforce? Is there anything we cannot change? We cannot change. Usually, whenever you copy the profile, so whenever you are creating a profile, we will copy the existing profile, right? So whenever we copy the existing profile, we don't change much things. Only the one which client says that I do not need it, only that particular one which we uncheck. Only that particular one which we uncheck. If you do any other changes, what you have to do is you have to reset again back. It is very difficult to reset back. Okay, every permission here is a very sensitive and delicate. So if you are sure after creating the profile, because when you are creating a profile, you will be taking the existing profile and you will be creating the new one. If you are sure this is the one which we needed, then only uncheck. Otherwise, don't uncheck this one. Because sometimes what happens is when you uncheck, for example, you are doing the uncheck of this send email. But whenever you uncheck this particular field, there are dependent fields are there. For example, if I uncheck the mass email, whatever the mass email is there, that is also gets unchecked. Whatever this mass email is there, it gets unchecked. Now, like this, there are many dependent will be there. So as soon as I uncheck, there is another one is which are unchecked. Actually, you are doing the setting on the send email, but without knowingly, unknowingly, there are few other check boxes is dependent on that. So whenever you are sure, then only go ahead and update that particular checkbox. Then only go ahead and update the checkbox. Now, simple example. Right now, we made so many changes. Right now, we made so many changes on that particular profile. Now, here, if I wanted to bring the setting icon back, then I need to analyze each and everything here because we did lot of changes here. As soon as I click on a role and role hierarchy, there are multiple checkboxes depending on this has been deactivated. There is a lot of checkboxes depending on this. So those all deactivated. So it has to be very careful whenever we uncheck. There are few other things which are dependent on that. Few other things which are dependent on this. So that's the reason. That's the reason you have to careful about that. Right, so that's about the profile. And when you click on a view profile, on the view profile, we have a something called page layout. So page layout is nothing but whether which page layout. Now we have not seen the page layout there. So page layout is nothing but this is one page layout. Here, this is one page layout. That means in the page, what is the fields that I can see? In the page, what is the fields that I can see? Now, if I go to the account, if I open an account, now go to the detail section. In the detail section, what is the fields that I can see is decided by the page layout. So this entire thing, the detail section here, like a owner, rating, name, phone number, account, fax, number, website, site, right? These all things are available. Now that means this is a decided in the page layout. So what is the data can be visible in the page layout is decided by the page layout. So on the layout, what are the fields needs to be displayed is decided by the page layout. Then after the page layout in the view, now let's go here, view, page layout we have, and then we have a few more field level security. Field level security, whether should I need to display this particular field or not. This particular field should be displayed to the a user or not is decided here, is decided here. Now, next one is a custom app setting. This we have seen, tab settings we have seen. Record types. Record types are, now we will see the record types later. And then we have a administrative permissions. And then we have a general user permissions, which we have seen. Then we have a standard object permissions. Now we have a session setting permission password policies. Now the next one is login hours. The next one is login hours. Now login hours is basically it will specify when the user has logged in. When the user has logged in. And login IP ranges is basically when the user has, where is the user, like control the login access at the user level. That means whoever is the users are assigned to this profile, they should be logging within this IP range. They should be logging with this is the IP range. For example, this is a start IP and we have a end IP address 255 dot. We have a end IP address. Now the user should be able to log in within these IP ranges, within this IP ranges. Now what is that means? That means whenever I log in from the office, the IP address changes. Whenever I log in from home, my IP address is changes. Based on the network, the IP address gets changes. Now, if company is restricting here at the profile level, it has to be connected only during this IP address, the range between this IP address. That means whoever the employees holding this profile, when they are in office, then only they can log in into the Salesforce. Otherwise, they cannot log in into the Salesforce. So that is the login IP range. That is the login IP range. So control the login access at the user level by specifying a range of allowed IP address on a user profile. Now example, start IP address is 00, end IP address is 255.255.255.255. Now enable Apex classes. Next one is the enable Apex classes.
Ma'am, there the 255 they won't consider, no? And that is a range of clap. It's a broadcast IP address, right? Subnet that will be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So when you log in from the office, you will have a different IP address.
Yeah.
Based on your broadcast connection or internet connection, it will be changed.
Ma'am,
IP address is basically
that is a IP address range, right? Not the length. Like it should be in office. It is not that, right? Like if the whatever the IP assigned to our computer, like whatever the assigned IP provided to the computer, that should be in this range. Then only that system will connect. If not, it won't connect. It is in that manner, or if not, we have to be in office where it is a LAN WAN area. Is that in that manner?
now here source IP address.
Yes.
Now why it is changed here?
The username is same, but source IP address is different always. It's a For time being, it is already it is changing, I think so, or I don't know, ma'am. This is- The IP address is always changing, or is a different system, maybe.
Now, let me open the other one where I specifically loaded for only for one user yesterday. So when I loaded this is for the one user. Okay. Now here you see that source IP is changed, right?
Yes.
Sometimes I have logged in from the institute. Okay. Sometime I logged in from the office. Sometime I logged in from the home. Now every time does it changing or is it a same? My system
Only
is the same. I'm not changing the system. System is same. That the same system I'm going with the same system. I'm going to the institute. That's the same system I'm going to the office. But and whenever I connect it, how my IP address is changed here?
mm-hmm. Mm.
Okay, try from your end, wherever you are. So change the place and try to log in. Download the login history. Try it from the different locations. Like maybe if you are traveling, okay, try it from the home first time and then go to some other place, try to log in there, connect a different internet connection and try it, and go to the different place and try to connect it. Like this, try it from the 3 places and tell me tomorrow what is happening with the IP ranges.
Yeah.
If you connect with the hotspot kind of thing, will the IP address will change?
Hotspot is just a internet. That is also the IP address will change, I think so. When you connect with if you are connecting with your home network, you will get one IP address. If you are connecting with your phone, then you will get another IP address, because it is
Right.
depends upon the internet connector, because they provide different type of IP ranges for everyone.
So that's what I'm saying it. If Dell or a Deloitte, they want the user should be logged in whenever they are in the office. That time only the Salesforce access should be enabled.
Okay.
Otherwise, once they go home, they should not open the Salesforce. If they
Okay.
have that kind of a restriction, they can keep that IP address range.
Mhm. Okay, that is their domain IP ranges.
Yes,
When they connect from another network, they like from their home network, their IP ranges automatically changes. The
yes,
system won't connect there.
yes.
Yeah, got it, man.
Any other questions?
Ma'am, I have one question.
Yeah.
Ma'am, in that login IP addresses, we are providing the range, right?
Mhm.
So from that range only, the employee should be able to log in into the Salesforce.
Yes.
But suppose let's say that the user happened to be in some other location. If he wants to log into Salesforce, how can he log in?
He cannot. So we need to give him for some time, we need to open up the access. Or else we need to change the profile of that particular user.
Okay. Or else we can set up the VPN at company side.
Yes, that
Yeah.
also.
That is also possible, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Thank you, ma'am.
Now, let's move on. Now, the next one is a enable Apex classes. So we have seen the IP ranges. Next one is a enable Apex classes access. Whenever we write a code, whenever we implement a Apex class, by default, Apex classes are not shared with any users. By default, Apex classes are not shared with any users. If you want to share it, then you have to go here, click on enable Apex classes, click on edit. Then you need to share the Apex classes to the end user. That means this profile, you are sharing the Apex classes. Right now, we do not have anything. So that's the reason we cannot see there. Now, this is in order to share the Apex classes. Similarly, we have a visual force. Similarly, we have a visual force. Visual force is also same. Whenever we are implementing the visual force, if I wanted to enable the visual force UI view for the different profile users, then you can add the visual force here. External data source access. This is this is external data source access. Now that means we have a something in case if you have a third party systems. In case if you have a third party system or external, you are getting the data from SAP or a .NET, or you are sending the data to the SAP or a .NET. Some different external systems are there. In case if you wanted to enable the external data source access, then you can update here. That we will see it whenever we are working on it. Similarly, we have a named credentials and we have a custom metadata. Custom metadata type, custom settings, enable flow access, flow also, lightning flow also. Whenever we create a lightning flows, we have to share it. And the last one is enable service present status access. So these all options we will see going further, but right now assume that these are the options are available. These are options are available. Now, as per the Salesforce limitation, administrator can create maximum of 1,500 custom profiles per license type. This is as per the standard Salesforce limitation, whether it is a developer edition, enterprise edition, whatever the edition it might be, the maximum you can create a custom profiles per user license is 1,500. This is the maximum which we created. It will change. This profile permission, the limit is going to change whenever you have a community portal. Whenever you have a community portal, the limit is going to change. Because community portal, how many profiles you are going to create it, everything is decided there. But as per the standard right now, the Salesforce has given that administrator can create maximum of 1,500 custom profile per user license. Now here, whether it is a, for example, professional edition, the maximum number of custom profiles they can create is 2. For the professional edition, maximum you can create it as a 2. Now, as we have a limitations of 1,500 custom profiles you can create it. So by looking at that, do not create a profiles like if you have a small changes also. If you have a small changes, for example, I have already created a profile. I have already created a profile. Now this profile has access to the account, contact, and lead, opportunity, right? So these are the objects, product, these are the objects which have a access. Now client, and we have given the access to the multiple users. We have given this profile is assigned to the 3 users. This profile is assigned to the user 1, user 2, user 3. Now tomorrow, like after 3 months or after a couple of months, client came back saying that I need additional profile. I need additional profile. In this profile, that means I need an additional access. In this one, I need an account, contact, lead, opportunity. That's it. I do not need a product. For this one, just create a new profile. Now, do I need to create a profile here just for one changes? Just for deactivating the products. Now here assume that product is having a read, create, edit, right? Delete, view all, modify all, these all options are there. Now here product is just has a read access, just has a read access. Now, what is the difference between these two profiles? Only the difference is here the product is having a full access, here the product is having a read access. Now, whenever you have this kind of a requirement, will you go for a different profile? Because you know the limitations is 1,500. What is the best practice? Do I need to go for a profile or do I need to go for a different concept?
You can create profile with minimum this one, and then we can give with the permission sets, we can give extra access to the profiles.
Right. Whenever you have this kind of a things, whenever you clone it or copy it, you are copying exactly same. Only the difference is read access. That means you are unnecessarily wasting another profile for limits. There is no difference between these two. Only the difference is read. So just because you have a read access, we should not be creating a profile. Because you are cloning exactly the same. There is no differences. When in Salesforce, the best practice in the Salesforce is whenever you see that all the data is same, except one change or except one permission or except one access. If you are doing again the same thing, now you already have a profile, now again you are creating another profile. No, you should not be doing the cloning of the same thing. If you have this kind of a requirement, don't go for a multiple profiles. Which is not recommended by the Salesforce. The reason is what Salesforce says you create a profile. But how you are going to create a profile? Create a profile with minimum access. That means with minimum access means you create a profile, account, contact, lead, opportunity, and product. Create the product. Here just give a read access. The minimum access between these two profiles is read access. Right? This has a minimum access, this has a full access. So create a profile with a minimum access. On top of it, what you have to do is you need to create another concept. You need to create another concept is called permission set. You need to create here permission set. Now, what this permission set does? Permission set, what it does is when you create a profile, now you are assigning this profile to the user. Assume that user 1, you are applying it. Now, on top of it, create a permission set. Inside the permission set and specify here products should have a read, create, edit, delete, view all, modify all. These should be there. Now you are assigning this minimum profile to the one user. Now the same profile you can assign to the users who are requested here. So the user 1, user 2, user 3, assign the minimum permission. Now what will happen? This person is getting the minimum access of product, but expected for these users is they should have all the access. Now after assigning the profile, what you have to do is you have to assign this permission set. You need to assign this permission set to the all the three users. That means they will get a minimum access of the profile. And along with that, if you assign a permission, what will happen? They will get a full access to these products. Now, this user does not require, because this user is required only minimum access of the product. Minimum access of the products. Now, it is not required. So this way we will handle it in the real time. In the real time, what we will do is we will always create a profile with a minimum setup, with minimum configuration. Minimum configuration we created. Once we created with a minimum configuration, on top of it, we will not create any other profile. We are creating the very minimum access of profile. On top of it, I'll create a multiple permission set. It's up to you. You can create a one permission set, multiple permission set, whatever you can do it. So create a permission set here to expand the access of the profile. To expand the access of profile. What is the expand here? So profile has a products access is read access, which is a minimum access. Now I need to expand it for these three users. In order to expand this access, products access. So what I have done is I have created a permission set. And for the permission set, I said here products, read, create, edit, delete, view, modify. Now, if I assign a profile and permission set to these users, what will happen? Together, they are going to get it as a full access of products. Now, if I assign simply a profile to the another user here, if I assign simply profile to the another user, now what will happen? This user will get a access to the profile, but they will have a access to the only products. They will have a access to the only product, which is a read access. That means we are satisfying these users as well as satisfying this user also. Both are doing perfectly fine. Any questions? So as per the Salesforce recommendation in the real time also, whenever you have this kind of a requirements, do not create 100 profiles. Do not create 200 profiles, which is not a best. It doesn't say that it is a best admin or a best developer. Always create one profile with a minimum access and then go for a permission set. Then go for a permission set. So in that case, what will happen is you can handle everything. But in case if you have a requirement, completely different requirement. When I say completely different requirement, now one profile it says, I need to have access to the account contact. That's it. And another profile it says, for another profile, I need to have access to the products, price book, right? And some custom objects are there. Now, if you have this kind of a requirement, this profile is having a complete different access. And this profile is having a complete different access. Whenever this kind of a different access is there, it is fair to go with the different profiles. It is fair with going with the different profiles because both the handling is different. And the object, the structure is different. In that case, you can go with the profile. But if you see that there is a profile, only single access is a difference between the existing profile. What are the existing profile is there? With that existing profile, if I create a new profile, there is only one small changes. Now that small changes, whenever you feel that, okay, it is not clear.
Just clumsy, man.
Okay, so let me explain it again. Now, let's go here. Now you know the profile, right? You know the profile. In the profile, we have a different kind of a object setting. We have a object settings, right? Custom app settings, different things are there. custom app setting, object settings, and administrative permission, general user permission. These all are there, right? Now, these all are you can view when you go to the Salesforce. When you go to the Salesforce. Now, when you go here, you can view all the different, these are the available, right? Now, how many profiles I can create? I can create 1,500 profiles. I can create 1,500 profiles. But is it a best practice to create a 1,500 profiles for everything? As per the Salesforce recommended, it is not a best practice. It is not a best practice. Now, why it is not a best practice? Now, I have these kind of a things. Now, let's assume that. Now, what you will do is, now here in the object setting, we have a account where you are giving a read access, edit access, create access, delete access, view all access, modify all access, which is a full access you are giving it. Right? Contact also you are giving the full access. Contact also you are giving the full access. Now, this is one profile. This is assume that profile one. This is profile one. This is what you have created right now. It is assigned to the 3 users. It is assigned to the 3 users. User 1 and user 2 and user 3. User 3. Now here you will assign this profile to the user 1, user 2, user 3. Is this clear right now?
Yes.
Okay. Now tomorrow client says that, okay, we have a different user. We have a different user. What is the different user? Assume that they have a, this is a separate team. This is a separate team. Assume that admin team 1. Admin team 1. Now this is the admin team 1. Now the company profit is increasing it. They are seeing the more sale, right? So Tata showroom, whatever the showroom is there, right now they are seeing the sale is going very high. That means every day around 100 customers are coming to them. Every day 100 customers are coming to them. Now this team is not enough to do the work. This team is not enough to do the work. Now I need to create another team. I need to create another team. Now another team is, for example, in another team, I have a user 4 and user 5. I have user 4 and user 5. This is a different team. Assume that team 2, but team 2 is just a purpose is to create a records. To create a records and send it to team 1. Send it to team 1. Now final approval is done by the team 1 because team 1 is there since long, then they know how to do it. Now they have introduced, company has introduced team 2 because they are getting the lots of customers they are getting it or lots of sales are happening. Now just to capture the basic information, I need a team 2. Now this team 2, the level of access it is required to just to create an account and contact. Just to create account and create. That's it. Whatever the existing accounts are there, whatever the other records are there, we do not want to show them. The purpose of this team is a new team. They just need a, what is the access they need is, the access that they need is only read, create access. Just a account, create access. Just account, create access, contact also create access. Because they are new team, and if I look at the existing record, they cannot understand. The purpose is whenever the customer come, capture the main information and send it to the team 1. Now they need to send it to the team 1. So this is the work is need to be implemented by the team 2. So which is newly introduced by the company. Now till this point is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
can I assign? Now this they are saying that account and contact is just a create access they need it. Now these users are created. While creating the users in the Salesforce, I need to assign a profile. I need to assign a profile. Now, in this case, can I assign a profile 1 to this user? Can I assign this profile 1 to this user?
No,
Why can't we assign this profile to this user?
no, because the user
they
only
have
access
multiple
the
access.
account and contact.
It has a full access altogether. I cannot assign it existing profile. I cannot access existing profile.
Yes.
Now, in that case, what should I need to do? The one option which I know right now is creating the new profile. Right now, I'm aware of that. Creating a new profile. Creating a new profile. Now, only one option which I have, I need to create a new profile. Now, before creating a new profile, just think a second. Now here, whatever you are doing it, right? Now, whatever you have, whenever you are creating a new profile, whenever you are creating a new profile, what is the existing profile you will take it? Existing profile, you will take it as a profile 1, right? You will take the existing profile as profile 1. Now, when you take a profile 1, what is the changes you are doing in the new profile? Only you are changing the account, contact, full access to the create. Full access to the create. Now, is there any other changes which you are doing it? You are not doing any other changes, right? Only the change you are doing is everything is same, only the difference is the create. Now, why should I go for a new profile when I do not have any other changes? Only small change which I am doing where the permission it says create. Why should we go for it? Why should I go for a new profile? Why should I go for a new profile? Only the change is the create access is there here. I just have a access which is related to create. Only for this create access, I'm creating a new profile, which is exactly copy. Only 3 check boxes I'm removing it. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 check boxes I'm removing it here. Only that is also only for 2 objects. Only for 2 objects I'm removing the 5 check boxes. Now, is it a best practice to create a new profile? No, it is not a best practice. It is not best practice. Now, what Salesforce has given is whenever you have this kind of a requirement, whenever you have this kind of a requirement where you see the difference between the existing profile and new profile, whenever you see that only permissions are different, rest all are same. Only permissions are different, rest all are same. Whenever you have this kind of a concept, whenever you have this kind of a concept, Salesforce has introduced something called as a permission set. Salesforce is called something called as a permission set. Because the reason is the introducing the permission set is whenever you see between the 2 profiles, whenever you observe that only the permission, the object level permission or some different permission, only the permissions are different. There is no huge difference, minimum difference is there. Whenever you see this kind of a differences, then we have to go with the permission set. Then we have to go with the permission set. Till this point, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, right now, whenever you go for a profile, in the profile, the way of viewing the profile is a different. Now you see here, whenever you click on it, Tata Sales Admin Team. Now, whenever you click on it, you can see here, this is the profile setup. This is the profile setup. Now, sometimes in the real time, when you open the profile, you will not see this view. You will not see this view. It is completely a different view. It is completely a different view. What is the different view here? Now, this is by default Salesforce is giving, but when you go to the real time, few projects or few companies have a default setup, or few companies have a different way of viewing the data. Different way of the viewing the data. That means, let me take a snipping of this. Now let's take a snipping of this. Now click on this. Right now, how I'm viewing, it is kind of this profile, page layout like this. I'm viewing the data in the profile. Now, few companies or few projects, we will not see this kind of a layout. We will not see this kind of a layout. It will be a different layout. Now, how can I identify different layout? Go to the user management setting. Go to the user management setting. In the user management setting, you have a something option called enhanced profile. There is a option called enhanced profile user interface. Enhanced profile user interface. There is a concept called enhanced profile user interface. Enable this. As soon as you enable this, now let's go to the same profile, which is a Tata sales admin team. Now let's click on this T, click on this. Now the view of the profile is completely changed. How it is displaying it? It is completely different. How before it was displaying it? Now this is how before it was displaying. Right now, how it is displaying, it is a completely different view. So the concept is same. You can see the object settings, right? The page layout, Apex classes, visual force, everything you can see here. When you go to the object setting, you can go here in the object setting and you can see all the objects will be there. All the objects will be there and you can click on the object. You can click on the object here. And you can see here whether I need to give a read, create, edit, delete, view all, modify all. These are the field permissions. Everything you can specify it, right? So whenever you enable that kind of a configuration, whenever you enable that kind of a configuration, you will see the different view of the profile. Different view of the profile. Now here, your page layout and app setting, everything is a different, right? It is directly showing you the data here. But when you enable this enhanced profile user interface, that means it is going to streamline the user interface. Instead of showing into the every individual information, it is grouping them together and displaying the details. It is grouping them everything and displaying the details. All the information you can see here, whatever we were seeing it like a system permissions. When you go to the system permissions, you can see administrative, what are the users are there, what are the administrative, general user, what are those are there, everything combined here in the system permission. In the system permission, everything combined. See here, mass email, right? Send email, run report, everything you can see here. Everything which is available. Right? So general user permissions, everything you can see here. Now, if you want to see the profile in a different way, what you have to do is you need to enable this enhanced profile user interface. That means I'm enhancing the profile view in a user interface. I'm enhancing the profile into the user interface. So everything I'm combining together and displaying it. Now, as soon as I switch off this configuration, now refresh this profile. Now back to the original one. Back to the original one, which we were seeing all the detailed information, profile details, page layouts, right? These are the details you can see. Now, in the real time, most of the times you will see that enhanced profile user interface is enabled. In real time, you will see that enhanced profile user interface is enabled, and the profiles in the real time, we see them as streamlined user interface. Like this, we will see in the real time. Like this, we will see in the real time. Now, is this clear? To view the profile in a different way based on the configuration setup.
Yes, ma'am.
Now here profile view, setup, user management settings, enhanced profile user interface, enable or disable. Either you enable it, if you enable it, streamline the user interface. If you disable it, the detailed information is going to display in the profile view. The detailed information is going to display in the profile view. Now the next one, we are going to understand the user and a profile. What is the differences between the user and profile? Now user and a profile. This is the one of the interview question. What is the differences between the profile and user? Profile is a group of a collection. Profile is a group of a collection, group or a collection of a settings and a permission that define what user can do in Salesforce. A profile is a group or a collection of a settings and a permissions that define what a user can do in Salesforce. What a user can do in Salesforce. User is nothing but a user is anyone who log into the Salesforce. User is just logging into the Salesforce. It does not define what user can do. Profile is going to define the group of settings or a collection of settings and permission that define what user can do in Salesforce. Now, profile controls the object permissions, field permissions, user permissions, tab settings, app Apex class access, Visual Force page classes, or page layout, record type, login hours, login IP ranges. It controls everything in the profile. Whereas user level, every user in Salesforce has a user account. Every user in Salesforce has a user account. The user account identifies the user, and the user account setting determines what features and records the user can access. What features and the records the users can access. That means user level, we have a setup called whether the user will be able to access the flows, right? Or like a personal information. User level will have a personal information, and user level we have a address information. User level, I can reset the password. I can reset the password. Now, user and profile both are different. It is not same. It is not same. User is where the user is nothing but whoever is logging into the Salesforce is called as a user. User level, we can reset a password, right? User level, we can capture the user's email ID, personal information, address information, right? Security, authentication, those things we can capture in the user level. Whereas profile is a collection of permissions or a set of permission that defines what user can do in Salesforce. What user can do in Salesforce. And profile controls the object permission, field permission, user permission, tab setting, app setting, Apex classes, Visual Force pages, page layout, record types, these all, everything we will capture. These all, we will capture it. Is everybody noted down? Right, we will cover the permission set later. I'll take it up the permission set tomorrow. I just gave the hint here because we have a limits of 1,500 profiles can be created. That means you will be creating all the profiles, right? I just given the hint here, permission set. Okay, there is a concept called permission set. We will see that permission set tomorrow. Okay, I'll explain more about the permission set tomorrow. Today is let's focus on the profile. Today, let's focus on the profile. Is profile, everybody is clear on this?
Yes, ma'am.
And user profile license. User profile license. Now here, a user is a user anyone who log into the Salesforce. License is specifies which feature or a functionality a user can access on Salesforce. That means license is a feature or a functionality. What kind of a functionality that is provided by this license? What kind of a functionality? What kind of a feature is provided by this license? And each user must have a one license. User must and should associate with license. Now, license is, it decides what is the functionality, what is the feature that can be implemented if the user use this license. Now, profile is a group or a collection of settings and a permission that defines what a user can do in Salesforce. Now, is everybody clear about the user license profile? Now, you should be knowing this terminology, user license profile. User license profile. Now, permission set we'll talk tomorrow. Now, today we have seen one of the requirement, how to create it. We have tested it with the Lionel Messi, and we have created a profile, edited a profile, viewing the profile, differences between the user and profile, and then we have seen user profile license. Now, today profile concept is closed. Tomorrow we will start a permission set. Tomorrow we'll start a permission set. Now, questions. Why can't we delete the user in Salesforce?
It's related with the because it is related
If
to
you
database
created
of-
that user, some data also
In
deleted.
Salesforce,
That's
there
why
is
we
a-
can't delete that
Right.
contact.
Right. So each user is connected to the specific role and certain level of access. So to the Salesforce database, if we delete that, the related data will be corrupted. Now, what are different type of profiles we have?
Custom profile, standard profile.
Two types, standard and custom. How to change the profile view in Salesforce?
to user management settings.
Administration settings.
How to change the profile view?
Enhanced
Log in another account and we can disable the permissions.
Changing the profile view. So before I was having this profile. How to change this profile view?
user management settings and enhanced profile user interface enabled.
User management settings, there you need to go for a enhanced profile user.
For user interface.
Manpreet, are you clear on this? It's not a page layout. You have to go to the user management settings, right? And then you need to enable the user interface. Enable or a disable you need to do. The next one is what are differences between the user and a profile?
User is the one who logs
Who
into
log in
Salesforce.
Salesforce, those are
Profile
user.
is a group of collection of settings and
Set of permission user profile.
A profile is a set of permissions, what a
And
user
Set of-
what can do in the Salesforce.
profile controls object permissions, field permissions, tab settings, app settings. And every user is Salesforce has user account.
Right? Who logs into the profile explains what user can do. Now, who logs into the user? Set of permissions and confirmations of profile. So profile is nothing but set of permissions and what user can do. User is nothing but whoever is logs into the Salesforce is called user, right? I'm decoding that. Okay, user represents the individual who have access to the Salesforce, while profile determines what those users can do within the system, right? How many users can connect to the profiles? You can connect maximum.
One profile has multiple users, but user have one profile.
Right. Somebody answer here. And here, Rohit, profile can be associated with multiple users, right? Where users can be. Now, one who log into the, this is again same. Now, is this something you copied from the previous one? Profile is a set of permissions, right? User is a who log into the Salesforce. Profile is a set of permissions. In real time, whenever we are messaging somebody, right? In real time, also we have a charts, right? If I wanted to talk to another developer, we have a something called as a Teams or a Google chat or something will be there. So whenever we are discussing with other person, we should never use the capital. We should never use the capital because capital explains the other person that I am in angry. Whenever I type something, like let's say that I'm typing here, are you coming? Everything I'm typing it here in a capital. Everything I'm typing it here, everything is in capital. If I send this, the immediately in the real time, the person will understand whoever sent that message, they are on angry. Especially for the US people, we should never say that in the capital. Whenever we are saying in the capital, it seems like you are not happy or you are on angry or you are not happy discussing with that person. Right? Do not ever say that in the capital letters. A user who log into the Salesforce and a profile logs into the Salesforce, okay? And a profile is the collection of settings and permission that defines what a user can do in Salesforce, right? Profile collection of settings, right? Right. Now that's clear. Now, homework, create a new profile, DMART admin. Profile name is a DMART admin. So whatever the admin team is there in the DMART, so we have to create a profile then. So you need to copy this profile, copy of system admin. Access Salesforce Lightning application, remove the access for a case object. So this person should have a sales lightning application. And in this sales lightning application, by default, you will see the case object. Now, if you search the case object, you should not see the case object. That means you need to remove the permission, remove the complete tab, remove the complete tab, remove the convert lead option. Remove the convert lead option. Where you will do this remove convert lead option? Where do you remove the convert lead option? In the profile level?
User management.
General user settings. General user settings, you will do that. Then assign this profile to the system admin user, which is created yesterday. Now, whatever the yesterday you have created, admin this user, apply this user, the profile, whatever the profile is there, assign this profile to the that user. Apply that profile to the, apply this profile to the yesterday user, the Melissa colon. Now you have a two tasks. One task is you have given this. Okay, once this is done, then change your Melissa colon profile from Tata Sales admin to DMart admin. Change the profile of the Melissa colon from the Tata Sales admin to the DMart admin. Then perform these all actions. Homework 2, create a new profile, CEO read-only. Copy the read-only profile. There is a read-only profile. Copy the read-only profile, create a CEO read-only, and remove the object access to the work type, work order, entitlement. These three objects should be removed and assign this profile to the admin user. Now, Melissa colon. So you need to perform three things with the Melissa colon. This is the user that we have created yesterday. Now this user, first you need to assign the Tata Sales admin team. Then you need to complete this homework. Then change the profile for the Melissa colon. Then complete the homework 1. And then after that change the profile for the Melissa colon and check this all things. Whether the person is able to view work type, work order, entitlement. Right, that is a homework 2. And this is a trial head.